everyone. Appreciate you joining us. My name is Andrew Demers. I am the Communications Director here at the New Hampshire Insurance Department. I'd like to welcome you all this morning to our webinar on Plan Year 2024 QHP application process. It's my pleasure to introduce the person who will be kicking off our meeting, Victoria Fowler. And before I do that, though, I want to mention just a real quick housekeeping item. First is that if you have any questions at any time, by all means, please type them into the chat box and we'll be able to address those at the end of the meeting. And then secondarily, of course, our team of experts remain available to help you and your team at all times. So at the end of the presentation, you'll see some contact info for some folks in our department. Make sure to write that information down and feel free, again, to reach out to us at any time. So I'd like to introduce, to get things started, Victoria Fowler.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our Plan Year 2024 QHP application process webinar. As Andrew said, my name is Victoria Fowler, and I'm the administrator for the compliance unit here at the New Hampshire Department of Insurance. We are very much looking forward to our time with you today, and we'll be sure to set aside time at the end for any questions you may have. As Andrew noted, our contact information will be provided at the end of this slideshow, and we will also be posting this video online later, so feel free to reach out to us anytime with any questions or concerns. Today, our presentation will consist of 15 slides, and we anticipate completing in about 30 minutes. Now I'm going to hand it over to Gail Matson for discussion about the New Hampshire Insurance Department timeline. Thank you. Next slide.
Gail, you're muted.
I am. Thank you. Thank you, Tori. As Tori said, my name is Gail Matson. I'm an examiner here at the department. This slide shows the timeline for CMS in yellow above and for the New Hampshire Insurance Department in blue below. I am going to run through CMS briefly, although I'm sure you've seen it. The CMS early bird application deadline is 5/17 with a review of that early bird data through 6/9. CMS QHP initial deadline is 6/14 with a review for that first data transfer through July 14th. The second deadline is July 17th, including QHP rates table template. Plan confirmations and plan ID crosswalk are to be completed between 8/9 and 8/23. The final deadline is set for 8/16 for issuers to change an application or to withdraw a plan. Review of data ensues. There is a limited data plan correction window between 9/14 and 9/15. QHP agreements are sent to carriers and states send in plan recommendations between 9/12 and 9/20. The New Hampshire key dates are on Tuesday, 5/9 is the deadline to submit QHP forms and rate filings for on-off exchange. Please note that rate templates may contain a placeholder, but updates to the rate templates are due by 6/12. 6/12 is the deadline for rate templates and documentation for on-off exchange. 7/12 is the initial rate revision deadline, as well as the deadline for off-exchange only form and rate filings. 8/3 is the deadline for the final rate revision. And 8/16 is the deadline for New Hampshire to send Plan Year 2024 certification recommendations to CMS. Next slide, please. As you can see in this next slide, QHP certification deadlines are highlighted. While I won't repeat these dates again, I will state that placeholders for on-exchange rates may be used. However, the updated rates are required by June 12th, with the next rate deadline on 7/12 and 8/3 respectively. Oops. Next, wait a second. The department prefers to submit the data transfers to CMS a day or two prior to each CMS deadline listed if the filings are in order to avoid data transfer issues due to volume of data being transferred. Next slide, please. Here you will see the 3 links available to issuers to assist in completing the QHP applications. The SURF Industry User Manual assists in submission of the binder as well as the corresponding SURF form and rate filings. Review tools and CMS instructions are found in the Qualified Health Plan website. Tools and the QHP submission checklist are found in the link marked Application Materials. Downloading the QHP Certification Issuer Toolkit will help to ensure a compliant application and assist in securing plan certification. Next slide, please. New Hampshire state filing guidance shown in this slide is designed to assist in the successful completion of filing and rate submissions to achieve QHP certification for plan year 2024. Please note that an advertising attestation is not required this year. The link shown has all NHID tools and guidance. I am now turning this over to David Scheckman for the next section of our presentation.
Thank you, Gail. Good morning, everybody. I'm David Scheckman. I am one of the pharma examiners here at the department as well, and just want to welcome you all to plan year 2024 QHP season. This slide is in regards to the rate filings, which Gail has touched on a little bit. And just to give you a little background, as you all know, New Hampshire participates in a reinsurance program through Section 1332. Therefore, all carriers that participate in the individual major med market will need to file 2 sets of rates, as well as actuarial memorandums that go along with them. The first set will include the rates with the waiver, which will show what the impact is with the waiver as to how the rates will be impacted by the waiver as well. So you have 1 set of rates with the waiver. Therefore, we will also see set of rates without the waiver, again, indicating what the rates will be based on what the estimates are from each carrier. Please remember that if you do not have the rates in place by the initial submission of May 9th, please put in a placeholder. And again, as Gail had indicated, if you do put a placeholder in for the rates, we do want to see the initial rates by June 12th in time for the first initial transfer. And if you do, and again, in regards with the initial rates, we're looking for the final rates to then be revised, and those are due on August 3rd. One thing I'd like to mention that is not included on the slide deck is something that I guess took everybody for a loop last year, was when SURF introduced the URT tab in the form filings. So again, just remember to place all your actuarial stuff under the URT tab, again, in regards to the form and rate filings. Next slide, please. This next slide is in regards to network adequacy, something that I'm involved with here at the department. As most of you probably know, I received the network adequacy filings and submitted to our data analytics, and they performed the tests on them. Just to let everybody know, there have been nothing has changed in regards with the network adequacy in regards to the instructions, the template itself. So basically, let's just go over some basic guidelines that you guys know, but it doesn't hurt to have a little refresher here. So again, we want you to review the guidelines and the instructions as it pertains to the template. We want to make sure that the providers that you include on the template do have signed contracts with the carriers to be in their networks at the time that the plans do come out in 2024. Again, we ask that you provide one network on each worksheet. We don't want to see multiple entries of providers or networks on one line. We don't want that. We want to keep it nice and simple in order for the review to be done accurately as possible. So again, please, one network per worksheet. Please read, and on the template, when you fill out the template in columns K and L, please make sure that that information is correct and accurate as it pertains to the facility types, and also if an out-of-network provider is performs its services in an in-network facility. Please abide by the requirements by CMS as it pertains to the URLs. CMS is a stickler in regards to these. They do check the URLs on the SVCs, the formulary, the networks, and the plan brochures for each specific plan that is offered through the marketplace. And one other thing that I'd like to point out, again, which is not on the slide, lately we've had some issues with some filers in regards with the formatting of the template. Sometimes if you copy and paste, it does change the formatting. So please make sure that the formatting is correct and you're using the numeric form when filling out the templates. This enables us to do an accurate test on the templates. Again, if the formatting is off, sometimes it does affect the numbering on the NPI number as well as the zip code. So again, please remember to format correctly. Next slide, please. Okay, next slide is in regards to standardized plans. As many of you may remember, last year, CMS required standardized plans to be offered in the meta levels in regards to the plans that you are offering on the marketplace. This year, CMS is looking for standardized plans in the following metal levels: bronze, silver, then also each silver cost-sharing reduction plan variation, gold, and platinum. CMS has lifted the requirement on the expanded bronze this year, so you do not need to include standardized plans for the expanded bronze. Again, CMS releases 2 sets of standardized plans cost-sharing charts. Please make sure that the chart that you use to base your cost-sharing information on is the one that is applicable to New Hampshire. Okay, and let's see here. In regards with this year, CMS has indicated in their draft for the notice of the benefits and payment parameters that they're looking to minimize or limit the number of non-standardized plans. The draft does indicate right now that they're looking to limit to 2 non-standardized plans for each metal level that is offered. However, we have learned that there has been quite a bit of pushback from the carriers this year in regards to this limitation. And I know we do know that the carriers have contacted CMS in regards to this, and we will now just wait to see what the final notice does indicate in regards to that. So just hold on tight. We'll see what CMS has to say, and we'll go from there. So again, just be on the lookout for that when the final notice does come out. I'm done with my portion of the presentation. I will now hand this over to Mike and Julio for the remainder of the presentation. Take away, Mike.
Thanks, Dave. And good morning, everyone. As Dave said, my name is Mike Angiulo, and I'm a fourth examiner here in the New Hampshire Insurance Department. In addition to this QHP process, I also support the intake for incoming CERF filings. So you might have seen my name on some of those as well. So let's get started here. So this slide provides a draft of the minimum cost sharing limits for plan year 2024 issued by CMS. As you can see, the maximum limit for plan year 2024 has increased to $9,450 for self-only coverage and $18,900 for family coverage. These amounts were pulled from the draft CMS bulletin titled Actuarial Value Calculator Methodology, dated December 12, 2022. Keep in mind that since the bulletin was a draft, these amounts may be revised based on further guidance from CMS. The plan year 2024 amounts represent an increase of about 3.8% over last year's maximums of $9,100 and $18,200. This is actually slightly lower, a slightly lower increase from plan year 22, where the increase was 4.5%. We also noticed the cost sharing maximums for self-only and other than self-only coverage for individuals who qualify for cost sharing reductions and are between 100 and 150% and 200 and 150 and 200%, 200% and 250% of the federal poverty level, or FPL. Next slide, please. So as we look at this slide, in this context, de minimis you can think of as defined as minimal. That might help to give you a perspective of the information on the slide. The values indicated on this slide were also taken from the draft CMS bulletin titled Actuarial Value Calculator Methodology, dated December 12, 2022. Generally, plans in the individual and small group markets must be within a range of plus or minus 2 percentage points, except for the specific variations that are listed for expanded bronze individual market silver plans and income-based CSR plans. Next slide, please. This slide presents a process that is not specifically related to QHP filings, but is more of a reminder that we wanted to provide to you about a required report that relates to prescription drug rebates. As indicated in our statute 415-A7, it is required that issuers submit a report that describes how prescription rebates are applied. The New Hampshire Insurance Department must be provided with a report detailing how issuers comply with this statute. The report needs to be provided annually and indicates whether the rebates were or are remitted to the covered person, the insured, or both. I'm sorry, the insurer or both. This is stated in 415-A:7, 2A and B. This year, we have included an email address that can be used to submit the reports in order that they can be accessed by the appropriate resource in the department. As noted, they can also be submitted in CERF for a review. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Andrew to help us with the question and answer portion of the presentation.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. I don't see any questions in the chat right now, but I'll make another call for them. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat now. Otherwise, we'll leave the current slide up for just a moment so that you can copy down the information, but don't feel like you have to, because after the presentation is online, we'll circulate this to everyone in a PDF format so that you have access to the links that we mentioned and that you have access to everyone's email address. So I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. Oh, yep. And again, our YouTube channel, Adam just posted that in there. Thank you very much. So you'll be able to see that probably later today, or certainly no later than first thing tomorrow. So if you want to share that with any colleagues that might have missed the presentation, be sure to send them the link. Again, I'll circulate it via email to all attendees, along with a PDF version of today's presentation. So not seeing any questions, I really appreciate everyone joining. Tori, do you have any last remarks? Would you like to address anyone? Oh, we've got one question here, actually. Jacqueline asks, specific to network adequacy, in addition to the NHID template, will the NA tabs for the CMS template still need to be completed? I don't know who the right person is to address that one.
David, take yourself off mute, please.
Sorry about that. Yes, you'll need to still furnish the CMS, the Fed network adequacy templates, and the ECP network adequacy and all that. That is still required.
Okay, Declan, hopefully that answered your question. Do we have any more questions? Happy to take some time to address them now. Most welcome. Okay, fantastic. Well, again, our experts
May I
here...
chime in, Andrew, for a
Yeah,
second?
please. Yeah,
Okay,
please, by all means.
I just had 2 points I'd like to reiterate to everybody. We do have a new email, which was outlined by Mike. It's ins-requests@ins.nh.gov. Those can be used to submit the prescription drug rebate report. But it's a new email for us, so we're very excited about that. And also, we are utilizing the firm Lewis and Ellis for our actuarial services. So you may experience pass-through billing as a result of that. And if you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us and we can explain more about that. Thank you.
I see another question from Mark Lesperance. He has his hand up and asks, is the 2024 QHP template binder filing date the 17th of May of this year?
As far as I know, all the templates and the binders, the binder and the form and rate filings are due May 9th.
Agreed.
Does that answer your question? Well, we'll make one last call for questions. Great, Mark, that's perfect. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you very much. We appreciate your attendance, and we will be sure to send a follow-up email as soon as this presentation is online.